you know that during the 5th mission of Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, if you're quick enough, you can find this. So this is Max from the Sam and Max games, who can be quite useful in a fight. Well, when he's not ignoring enemies anyway. Oh, and whilst we're on the topic of Star Wars, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Star Wars Hunters. Star Wars Hunters is a 4v4 third-person combat game that sees you doing battle on maps inspired by iconic Star Wars locations. You can choose to fight it out in multiple different PvP modes, which means there should be something for everyone. Players can unlock new characters, each with their own unique weapons and abilities, and find out which character suits your playstyle best. These include nefarious bounty hunters, heroes of the rebellion, imperial stormtroopers, and just about everything else in between. Star Wars Hunters is available on Android, iOS, and the Nintendo Switch, and is free to play. And my question to you is, are you ready to land at Vespara? If you are, check the link in the description or in my pinned comment to check out Star Wars Hunters today. Right, next up is Lightmatter. Now, we did cover Lightmatter back in episode 131 of this series, where we found a briefcase that belonged to a follically challenged assassin. Well, the first of today's Lightmatter Easter eggs also references a video game. When trying to solve a puzzle, the man in charge will say this.
Be careful with my lamps. At Lightmatter Technologies, we treat our inanimate objects with respect, not like those monsters of Aperture Science.
So the man mentions Aperture Science, which is the evil corporation seen in the Portal series, of which Lightmatter takes heavy inspiration. Now, if it wasn't for an achievement, I wouldn't have even known that this next Easter egg was an Easter egg. When crawling through the vents, you can find this. So finding this lighter will unlock the Yippee-Ki-Yay achievement. Now, fans of excellent action movies will connect the dots here and realise that this lighter is a reference to this scene from the first Die Hard movie, where John McClane finds himself crawling through vents with a lighter in hand. I mean, with the added context of the achievement, this one does seem kind of obvious. But if it wasn't for the achievement, I don't think I'd have put 2 and 2 together. Right, it's now time for our Overused Video Game Easter Egg of the Week, the segment where we take a look at one Easter egg that has been referenced to death in video games. Today's Easter egg can be found in Fallout 76. At the isolated cabin, you can find a doghouse with a copy of the periodic table on the wall and an equation drawn on the floor. This is a reference to Einstein the dog from the Back to the Future movies. Admittedly, this is a pretty unique way of referencing Back to the Future, but it is still a reference to a movie that has been referenced way too many times in games before. Be sure to join me next time for another Overused Video Game Easter Egg of the Week. Next up is the Easter Egg Packed the Wardrobe, which might just hold the record for the most Easter eggs or references in any game ever. And the first scene that we're taking a look at is of course no different. So the references that I can spot are a mandrake from Harry Potter, Chompy the Goat from Fairly Odd Parents, the Aku Aku mask from Crash Bandicoot, and this chair is a nod to the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones. Now, unfortunately, I'm not a reference encyclopedia, so there is a chance that I've missed something. I mean, this book in particular looks familiar, so if you can spot something that I've missed, then let me know in the comments. The wardrobe scene that I wanted to take a look at is a bit more straightforward. First up is Frank the Rabbit from the 2001 movie Donnie Darko. This is Morpheus from the Matrix. This person is wearing the mask of a child-loving bear that became a popular meme around 2010, and this is a reference to music duo Daft Punk. The only people that I'm not sure about are this guy pressed up against the window and this person who is headbanging like there is no tomorrow. Again, if you have any idea of who these two might be, then let me know in the comments. Up next is Melon Playground. Now, Melon Playground is a ragdoll sandbox game that lets you experiment with various characters and objects. Basically, the entire point of Melon Playground is to mess around and have fun. Recently, the game got an update, and one of the additions this update brought with it was a phone. You see, when launching the game, there is a chance that a phone will spawn at the main menu. Tapping on the phone will allow you to dial a number. Now, dialing predictable numbers like 999 or 911 doesn't do anything, but if you enter 1987, this will happen. So the tune that can be heard is the same tune played just before you're about to become Teddy Bear Soup in the Five Nights at Freddy's games. Now, most of you will understand why dialing 1987 plays that song, but if you don't, 1987 is a very important year in the FNAF lore, as that was the year of the infamous Bite of 87 incident where an animatronic attacked a child. Like I said, I have tried other phone numbers here, but so far the only number that works is 1987. So Multiversus is a strange game. Originally releasing as an open beta in 2022, the game was abruptly taken offline in June 2023. I mean, the game was technically still in beta, so perhaps it shouldn't have been a surprise to see the game pulled. But people had spent money on the game and it had been in quote-unquote beta for just over a year or so I think many people just thought the game was here to stay. Anyway, Multiversus has returned, and brought with it a killer new addition. Pun intended. If you play Multiversus right now, you'll be able to claim horror movie icon Jason Vorhees for free. Of course, in a game made for everyone to enjoy, Jason's violence has been toned down considerably, but there are still some nods to his tormented past. For example, one of Jason's moves sees him do this. So Jason putting his opponent in a sleeping bag before slamming them into the ground is a reference to this scene from Friday the 13th, The New Blood. That's not the only movie kill that gets referenced in child-friendly multiverses. Jason can also do this. So Jason folding a bed in half is a reference to this scene from a film that I love but I feel like no one else does. Freddy vs. Jason. It's not just the Friday the 13th movies that Jason's moves are inspired by. This move, which sees Jason disappear in a puff of smoke before appearing somewhere else, might be a reference to a similar move that Jason performed in Mortal Kombat X. I mean, it could also be a nod to the fact that horror movie killers seem to always appear out of nowhere, something which Jason has done in every movie he's been in. The final Multiversus Jason Easter egg actually pokes fun at a glitch. In the Friday the 13th game, players could glitch Jason, allowing him to moonwalk around the map, which made for some very funny clips. Well, one of the unlockables in the Battle Pass is the moonwalk, and only Jason can equip it. You tell me who did it better, Jason Voorhees or Michael Jackson. So at the end of the last episode of this series, we discovered the secret ending in The Witness, which was really long and really strange. It was at this point that somebody recommended that I check out The Looker's secret ending. The Looker is a parody of The Witness, and a damn funny one too. In fact, we've covered The Looker on this channel before, where we found some interesting hint buttons. Well, after the credits roll in The Looker, a parody of that final scene from The Witness will play out. Of course, it's probably best to watch at least a part of the original scene first, so that this parody makes more sense, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. Oh, and unlike The Witness, I won't need to cut this scene short, as it's much more entertaining and nowhere near as long.
Jeez, dude, I was in a coma the whole time. Whoever did this has gotta be some kind of whiz with the computers. Good stack of pennies. I would never hurt you. Let's see. Easy one. How's this? Nerd shit. Nerd shit. Now that's a book. One more puzzle before retirement.
So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Once again, a big thank you to Star Wars Hunters for sponsoring today's video. Scan the QR code on screen now or click the link in the description to check out the game today. And as always, thank you all for watching.